This is Paul Mitchell with Playmaker Strength and Conditioning and Sports Fitness Experience, SFX. I'm here today to talk about the speed ladder and how to transfer the movements that we do in the ladder to the football field. One of the problems that most coaches feel is that they don't feel that there's a whole lot of transferability from the ladder to the field, and that's mostly, in my belief, because we're not doing the technique correctly. So I'm going to sit here with my young friend Daniel Hinton here today, football player, basketball player, and track player. And we're going to do a couple of exercises to show you how to progress through the ladder and how to get the transferability you want. So the first drill we use with the ladder, the first one that I use, is actually called a high knee march. When you start your players off, you always want them in a good running form from the very beginning. Never let your players just stand up here because they don't do this in practice. They're not going to do this in the game. So start them off in a good running position, and we call this the athletic position 1. Left foot forward, right foot back, and that right arm is out front. And from here, we're going to step into this ladder. That's going to create a skip, and they're going to hold this knee up here in a running form for 2 seconds at a time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, just like that. Now the purpose of this drill is not only to create dynamic stabilization, but also to practice the running form. And we all know when we're working with the ladder, the number one problem we see is kids who really are uncoordinated, and we get this thing going on. Or we get this, where the hands are frozen in time while we do that. And that's why you're not getting the transferability from the ladder to the field, because on a football field, we need to make the arms and the legs work at one time. That's one unit. So this is where we start with it right here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and watch what I can do. 1, 2. We can freeze this right here because we're working on that dynamic stabilization. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Check and see. You're going to find that they're going to fall forward sometimes because they're anticipating. So they're going to fall forward or they're going to go without you. Challenge it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Get up high. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Great job, Daniel. Good. The second drill that I'll usually use is because I just finished the dynamic warm-up. Is now what I'll do is I'll stretch out. I'm still stretching with these exercises. I'm working on a little bit of balance, working on a little bit of strength, but now I also want to get some stretching in before we go into more ballistic movement. So the next one I'm going to do is just a simple high knee march here, where I want them to drive their knee up to the chest as high as possible and develop this rhythm that I'm going to talk about later in here. So from here, drive the knee all the way up, 1 foot for a run, and we're just working on a little bit of a rhythm. Go. Get that knee all the way up there. Pop. If you notice through this video, look at Daniel's double tap out of that as he's moving through there. That foot hits the ground and he creates that double tap. That double tap is rhythm, and that's the key to the ladder. That's the key, in my opinion, to all sports, is having a rhythm. A quarterback takes a snap and he does the same thing every single time. Basketball players go through the same rhythm. There needs to be a rhythm developed in this ladder to transfer that rhythm to the football field. So watch us coming back. Now we're going to go into what we call a forward skip. The purpose of this drill is to develop that knee drive out of each leg, okay? Knee drive, which is important. A lot of coaches talk about stride length and stride frequency. There are more components of something else, and the main one that they're a component of is just being able to get that knee up there high. The higher I can get that knee, the stronger I can run, and also the higher I can drive this knee up, the more distance I can travel when I'm striding out, which is stride length, without trying to change a person's length, which is really dangerous. So with this one, we're working on that strong, quick turnover and good knee drive. So from here, driving that knee up about the opposite knee height, trying to get as quickly as possible through that ladder. Get right up. Go. There you go. Look at those feet come up to the opposite knee. You want those knees to come up high on this one. Good. Coming back, same thing, the right foot forward, left foot back. The other thing to watch from here, and go, is to look at the arms. Never let anybody tell you that arms don't play a part in the ladder. whether you're going linearly, laterally, the arms have to be incorporated in here. And you can't really progress to other drills until you develop the basics, because on the football field, you use your arms. You have to use your arms in whatever you're doing. And we could even incorporate football in here to make sure that we get that transferability that we're talking about. So I'm going to incorporate a football in here with Daniel. And he's going to carry. Daniel's a running back and quarterback on the football field. So we're going to incorporate it one more time, Daniel. Left foot forward, right foot back. And go. That's what we're trying to work on. That's how you incorporate that and make that transfer to the football field. Good. Coming back, we're going to lower this thing and work on actual quickness. Because another thing about the speed ladder is we're not working on muscles here. We're working on those individual motor neurons, and we're making those motor neurons fire faster. So here we're going to bring it down. Instead of getting that opposite foot up as high as the opposite knee, we're going to bring it down so that that foot is only come up as high as the opposite ankle here and get quicker turnover through this ladder. Ready? Go! Good. Look how he's getting quicker. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for that quickness. Good quickness. Good. Good. Switch arms, switch feet. Come back. Same thing. Ready? Go! Staying low. That's what we want our running backs to do, quarterbacks to do, is to stay low as they get through that hole. We want them to have that quickness, that foot quickness, be able to look forward, but also be able to stay low behind that line. Last drill. Here's the main one that everybody loves to do, and it's probably the drill that most people do wrong the most. It's the icky shuffle. Again, with this icky shuffle, you need to be able to keep those hips low. Okay? If you're doing the icky shuffle from up this high, no sports happen up here. So it makes no sense to do this standing up high. The other thing, it makes no sense to do this drill with the arms out here. The arms have to be pumping with an icky shuffle. And the last mistake that I see through dozens and dozens of videos is this thing where you do this icky shuffle and you're way out here. The icky shuffle, the purpose of the speed ladder is to get from this end of the ladder to that end of the ladder as quickly as possible. If I'm a running back, I want to be able to fake you out with a short movement and not go way out here where I have more of a possibility of injuring an ACL or MCL. So with this icky shuffle, we're starting off behind here, and we want to put that foot right outside of the ladder. We want to keep our chest inside the ladder, and the only thing that goes outside is the feet. The chest should stay right inside the ladder, which should shorten that distance and allow our players to get from that end to that end really quickly. Ready? And go. Get past it. Good. Pass it right there. Good. Good. I'll do it two more times. Because you can do it better than that. I might need to step it out. Go.